But now you can.
But that's why I actually don't mind speaking on it here.
Yeah,
now,
because
for a while, like I hated talking about it, but now I kind of wish I had the guidance that I wish I had someone that could have told me so I know better. And I am on Zoloft now. I was off of something for a while, and I haven't cut myself in over a year, which is a big accomplishment, for how low and sad I felt for a long time. It's not no magical pill like people think. It just like takes all your problems away. Like you have to work in yourself, and it's not always easy. And some people don't need medicine at all. Some people can like battle what they go through and overcome it. But I feel like I've been hit with a lot of things, and one after another, where my brain doesn't really get a chance to build up that serotonin level again. Like if I keep punching your arm over and over again, eventually it's gonna start to hurt.
Basically, you haven't had time to completely heal. That's what it is. When you have an open wound, and if I keep cutting your open wound, it's gonna be worse and worse and worse. Yeah, like when my brother died just recently, it may seem like I don't go through nothing, but I literally have a hard time showing how I feel in front of people. I don't know why. That's just, everyone deals with it differently. But I am not going off of my strength. It's literally God's. Because there's times where I don't want to get out of bed and I can't. And I'm on my knees, I'm crying. And I ask God, I can't do this without you. I need your strength, and He'll give me strength. But one thing that used to help me, like I went through a tough life too, and I don't know, I just start watching like these motivational videos. That's what helped me. Like there'd be people who go through stuff too, stuff like this. And it would make me like feel like see life a little bit different. But the reason why I try to find more positive, because throughout my life, all I know was pain. All people did was do drugs. All it was negativity. There's a lot of things going on in my family, and I didn't want to be like them. And I don't want it to keep being that way. So I'm like, I gotta find another way to deal with pain without destruction. And sometimes you don't know. Like there's times where I get angry, I'm punching stuff, but I'd be like, I'm okay. Like some people do music, some people like scream, some people might write, some people, if I can find something, even if some people work out, some people, you know what I mean? Like find something to fuel my anger, because what I realize is whenever we don't heal, or we don't try to heal in any type of way, we create more problems. And not only that, you're giving problems for your kid, because if you don't take that time to heal. But here's the thing. The reason why we can't deal with pain is because we've numbed it for so long. You go through pain so much in your life, I'm just going to numb it. Then you get older, it's like, oh, I can't keep numbing it. It's hurting too much. Like I got to feel it. When we're not used to feeling pain, and then it finally hits you, you don't know how to deal with it.
Before we get too far gone, I want to point something out. So this video is random. Like I didn't know what I was going to say. She didn't know I was going to say none of that. So for me to start off by pointing out how positive you are at all times, and now we somehow got to where we're at now, that is something I feel like is worth speaking on. That what's hard, and this was also a big part of, I feel, made me feel so alone, is people think just because you are always the strong one, and you've always overcome so much, that like you don't need the support sometimes, you don't need the help. So just pointing that out too, that sometimes like your glass is empty and you're still trying to fill everyone else's cup, and that it's okay that you don't feel okay at all the time, and it's okay for you to show emotion. Back to like a lot of the reason why you don't is because you feel like you're not allowed to, almost, because everyone always assumes Neff's gonna be fine. She got it. She's always happy. She's always positive. She believes in God. She's fine. And I know that you're always, like, even when you're not okay, you're okay. But when I finally came out about how I felt, and everyone had that attitude towards me, it made me feel even more alone. Like no one cared that I was sad. But when I heard the other sides, because I knew you were gonna be okay. Well, I almost wasn't. So with that being said, like, just because everyone might show a smiling, strong face, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, or how long it might take for them to finally come out and say, I don't feel good. you know?
Yeah.
But those feelings are, your feelings are valid.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel. If you're happy about something, if you feel you're healed from something, and people don't think you should be, like, or, like, I've been told multiple times that I should be over the losses that I've been through. And it's not on nobody's time but yours. You get to feel those emotions every day. So regardless of anyone tells you, you gotta deal with it on your own time.
Yeah. And it's also, it comes randomly for me. It'll be random. Like, I'll be in bed just crying sometimes. But I don't know. It's literally like, I think it's a defense mechanism. When you go through, like, I'm considered a silent sufferer. So there's a lot of things that y'all don't even know. Like, there's a lot of stuff that, I'll probably say 50% of things I might tell people, friends and family, but the other 50% people don't even know what I deal with. So I have been through so much, and when stuff happens, it happens like this, back to back to back to back to back to back to back to. So after my brother passed away, when I literally tell you that something happened back to back to back to back to back to back to back, after that, and I'm just like, whoa, like, well, you have time to, like, I'm still trying to process. You know what I mean? I'm trying to learn how to process my feelings, and the way that helps me is encouraging people, because I know there's somebody out there that feels the way I do. Maybe I can help somebody else. Like, maybe me speaking to somebody else can help. Like, I have my times where I break down and cry and think about life, like, dang, even like where I'm at in my life, I'm not super proud of where I'm at. I wish I could be further. I wish I could be more successful. But I don't want to, like, okay, I'll say this. I've been very depressed before and suicidal. I hate that feeling. I don't want to stay there. I know I can't stay there. I know I have to fight. I'm a fighter. So there's an enemy that we can't see, and he kicks you when you're down. And when you're down, he plays on it. So that's why
not even just you, the people around you.
Yes. It's like a domino effect. He kicks you when you're down, and I know that. So I'm like, I gotta fight in another way. I have to fight, like, in a spiritual way, because I know that he's playing on that, and I know that he'll get in your head like, oh, you ain't that. Try to keep you in a certain spot, and I'm like, I'm always trying to fight back. So I just feel like if I can help somebody, it'll help, you know. And I personally want to get counseling because I want to make sure I'm healed completely, not just covering up stuff or just hiding stuff. But I deal with it, and it comes out in, like, I'm gonna say, like, increments.
It comes in waves.
Yeah, like, it comes out in increments. But some people tell me, like, a family will tell me, oh, you shouldn't grieve that way. Or some people tell me, oh, you're not grieving right. You have no clue. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's God, but when I'm around people, nobody can see what I go through. I don't know what it is. I literally don't know. It's like a shield. But when I'm home, when I'm by myself, I'm way more vulnerable, and I really think and I feel. But you know what I think it is? I think it's like I'm able to be strong for other people. But God deals with me when I'm by myself.
Yeah, so I will say, like, speaking on that, so my dad passed away exactly almost 3 years before
prior to mine. Yeah,
my dad died March 13th of 2006, and hers was March 14th of 2009, right? Mm-hmm. And it was crazy how we both were, like, young and lost, like, didn't really know what, when, where, why. We kind of, like, just kept each other, like, me going through that, I didn't know how to feel. I felt alone when I was young. I didn't know anyone else who lost a dad.
Yeah.
And then it was helping her, and her validating my feelings helped heal me, but also made me want to heal her because I don't want her to feel that way. Yeah. And then we both started going to church together. And I will say, like, that was, for me, at least, my turning point, because I don't deal with those emotions. I didn't know how to cry. I was so angry, and I was fighting in school, and got kicked out of school, and it was like we ended up going to church together, and that was my turning point where I realized, like, in my life, almost everything after me going to God, everything, when I say, like, crazy stuff has worked out, it has, like, things that, like, I don't even know how I turned out how I did sometimes, and I do know how. The only explanation is God. Like, how else did I turn out the way that I did with the things that have gone on around me? And then my sister passed away exactly 3 years before her brother passed away. And I felt lost and broken and everything. And, you know, with her losing her brother, don't get me wrong, like, I love Jamie too. I love her entire family. But knowing how she felt broke my heart into pieces, because I never wanted her to understand me. And unfortunately, she even said, I'm sorry, I didn't understand you until now.
Yeah.
But I never wanted her to. But I will say, like, having her validate my feelings have helped me feel like I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
But also makes me want to help you, because I don't want you to feel how I felt. And if I can help you during this healing journey, I want to do that, because no one else told me, like, take as much time as you need, or it's going to come in waves, or you're going to feel angry one day, sad the next. And you know, there was never anyone to make me feel okay with the way I was grieving.
Yeah.
And it made me feel even more alone. Almost, I feel like it's prolonged my grieving process.
Yeah, because you have no support.
Yeah.
I want to say something about that, because when her sister first died, right, I didn't know what to say. Because, like, when someone loses a sibling, that's just, I don't know, it's different. And I'm like,
first best friend.
My gosh, I was like, I remember being like, I was in Ohio at the time with my ex-boyfriend, and I remember like having my phone. I never told you this, and I just wanted to text you. I never knew what to say to you. I'm like, well, I don't want to just say super uplifting things, because it's like, that's just cliche. What do I say to her? How do you comfort someone who loses a sibling? I had no clue. I had no clue what to do. And what sucked at the time that she lost her sister, I was like, I wasn't even me. I was in such a dark place and lost place. I'm like, I couldn't even be there for myself. And I feel so bad. Like, she had to show me, even when I lost my brother recently, she was there for me in a way that, like, I really needed. And I was like, she had to show me how to be a friend, because at that time, I wasn't there for her. And I didn't even know how to be there for her. I wasn't even there for myself. And I was like, dang, like, I thank God she showed me that, because now I can do that for somebody else, or maybe if I ever need her again, because sometimes you need reminded. Now, any other friend would have been like, well I don't want to be your friend no more, and I would have understood that. I couldn't, like, argue with that. But being that she was patient enough to be like, yeah, I felt some type of way about how you went about it, and you know what I mean, and I apologize, because now I'm way more conscious. Like, I'm way more, like, I feel, not just because my brother passed away, but because I'm more clear-minded. It's not cloudy for me, you know?
Well, but you learn from it.
Yeah, I did learn from it, but I just didn't know how to be there.
With my other sister my other sister was in the ICU last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it wasn't looking too good. And she, even if I didn't answer, because sometimes I do that. Well, I'm not a good texter anyways, but
yeah, me either.
Especially when I'm feeling some type of way, I just don't really respond. I see it and I appreciate it, but I just don't respond. And she called and she texted and she sent like a prayer chain. She had her family prayer.
Man, I hit her grandma up. I was like,
oh yeah, I didn't answer
because I was hitting up everybody, because I need to know. And like, whenever now listen, it's not just that my brother died. I got closer to God, so I'm more in a spiritual feeling. I can, like, I don't know, God makes you sensitive when you get close with him, and I'm like, if I can prevent in the spirit, well, I got chills. If I can prevent in the spirit by praying and fasting, because we have God gives us that authority to stop things, because I know it's the enemy. I know it's the enemy attacking her family. I know that, but he can be stopped. So since I know that now, I'm going to do everything I can to, like, go to war.
Tell them what you did for 3 days.
I fasted. I turned that plate down, because I know it has. Listen, I'm reading a spiritual warfare book, and it tells you about there's demons that come for, like, diseases, all types coming for marriages and all types of stuff. But there's a demon that comes for sicknesses that tries to kill through infirmity. And I knew that. And I'm like, now that I know, because my brother was killed. And I'm like, I feel like it was the devil. I just feel like the devil killed my brother. That's how I feel. And I'm like, there ain't nobody else on my watch. As much as I can do, I'm going to pray. I'm going to fast. I'm going to call everybody. Hey, pray. I need y'all to pray now. Don't go talk to your friend. I need you to pray right now. My mom, she got off the phone. She started praying in the name of Jesus. She's speaking in tongues. My pap started praying. I was praying, and I fasted. And I said, God, we need a miracle, and that's exactly what he did. When I seen her sister take a picture, I was like, Mom, look. I didn't care she was on the phone. I was like, look at Tammy. She's like, oh, hallelujah, thank you, God. But, like, God deserves all the glory, but I be wanting God to show people who he is through other people. You know what I mean? You know who your sister touched. Just seeing where she was at one point and how she was at another point. Just like 2 weeks ago, her face looked like really damaged. Like, the other day, I was like, dang, she looks good. I just kept saying it to her. She just looked at me like, oh my God, you look good. She looked good. But that's God, and he's amazing. And
I mean, even the staff was surprised she really wasn't
supposed to make it. That's because he's the real doctor. God is. He's the real doctor. I'm going to say this one little story, and I want to say something about your situation. I know this long. If you've been here with us this long, kudos to you. Listen, there's a woman that, I used to work in the call center. I did like healthcare or whatever. And this woman was calling me, and she was like distressed. She was like, she didn't meet the deadline was already done. She could no longer get healthcare. She had to wait for the next year. She said, well, I'm sick and I'm dying. What am I supposed to do? Are you serious? I can't. I said, ma'am, I'm sorry. You have the deadlines. You can't get it right now. It's past the deadline. So she had the bleeding disease where you bleed all the time, and it's causing you to get ill and die, because she said she's been to 5 doctors and no one can help her. Different hospitals, and nobody can help her because they don't know what that disease is. It's just you keep bleeding. And so she's like getting fragile, and she's like getting sick. And I was like, listen.
I don't know if you finished. Do you know a story about that?
Yeah, in the Bible.
Okay.
So listen, I'm on the phone, like, they record you. I just took a leap of faith. I said, forget it. If I get in trouble, oh well, at least this woman gets prayer. I said, excuse me, ma'am, do you believe in God? She's like, yes, I believe in God. I said, well, you know God can heal you if you have 100% faith. I'm going to pray for you. So I prayed for her, and she said at the end of the prayer, she said, I want to thank you for reminding me, like, who to go to, right? I kid you not. 2 weeks later, I'm on the phone. Hello, it's the woman. She was like, oh my gosh, it's not a coincidence that I got you, Nefertiti. She said, oh my gosh, my son knew it was you by your voice. She said, I wanted to tell you something. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, the day you prayed for me, the day after, I stopped bleeding. She said, I haven't bled since. She said, I just wanted to thank you for reminding me who the real doctor is. And I'm here to let y'all know there is a real doctor, but you have to have 100% faith. But all the stuff that she feels a lot of weight in her life. I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's because when God has a great purpose for you, it's heavy. The weight is heavy, but you can't carry it alone. And when you try to, you're going to fall. Every time you're going to stumble, you're going to hurt. But God, she has a great responsibility in her life, and God has great things for her. And sometimes it don't seem like that. Like, where's the light at, Lord, in the tunnel? But there is a light, and he's just building you. Just like, okay, let me tell y'all something. When you climb in a mountain, are you going to stop in the middle of the mountain? You can't. Your legs hurt, but can you stop? No. You have to keep going, because when you get to the top...
Unless you want to roll down.
Yeah, unless you want to roll back down, you got to start all over again. There's a reward at the top. And I'm not saying it's going to take forever. I'm just saying that everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason why God has given her so much weight. It's because he has great plans for her. And, and I just know that, like, in the Bible, people that were chosen, none of them had an easy path. Not one. But they had great prosperous lives there. You know what I mean? And so did their kids.
So it's crazy that you brought up that story, because I just went to church, not this past Sunday, before. I mean, my first time going to this church, and it was amazing, actually. Like, it was it felt like you just, when you feel it, you feel it.
Yeah, the spirit.
Yeah, like I won't be going anywhere else for.
You found your church.
Yeah, I found my church, and they told the story about
a woman
bleeding.
Yeah,
and they said, like, she spent all of her money trying to going to doctors, trying to figure out what's wrong with her. She just kept getting worse and kept getting worse, and she still kept trying to, like, find a way to support herself. And obviously, like, she was even trying to give her body, but she couldn't, because nobody wanted her. And she kept getting more sick and more sick, and she tried everything to heal herself. But she kept taking, like, chances, and she touched Jesus, she said.
His garment, yep.
Yeah, his garment. And then she was healed. But she also was apologizing. She's like, I took a risk by that, because she knew what she had, if it was contagious, it could have hurt somebody or not. And she apologized. She took that risk, But she knew that she had to keep going regardless of what it took to make herself to heal herself. What they said in church was, people find joy. I think that pure joy is when you have it all. There's no issues, no problems, nothing. That's not pure joy. Like, you can still have joy under difficult circumstances. And they went into a bunch of other stuff, but how you just said all that to me. When I went to church, they had this crash course on the church where they tell you, like, different things about the church, how they started, what groups they offer. And so I went to it, and everyone in the room, you know, they said, well, what brought you here today? What brought you here? So I just came out and said, well, I have some childhood trauma, and my dad passed away, my sister passed away, my other sister is battling the same thing right now. And after like the course, everyone's talking and stuff, and you know, we went through some specifics of my life, and the lady at the church, she's been there for over 10 years, and she said like that, you know, there's no reason that I'm this far other than God. And she said that as much as I want to, like, as much as I want to break down and say, you know, God, why me? And I do have moments like that. But she said that I didn't change my mindset to God chose me. That's right. He chose me for to shape me into who he needs to do his work here on earth. And after, like, and that sat with me all day long, like, and there's a song that they sang, and it talked about, the song goes like, there's gonna be glory, there will be glory after this, and just like pushing through for that breakthrough, your breakthrough's coming. And you know, I will say, as much as I do carry a lot of weight and I'm not always this tough, sometimes I'll cry for a whole week sometimes. So sometimes I'm happy for a while, or sometimes I'm just moody. But if I didn't go through these things, I wouldn't know how to support my best friend as she's went through these trying times. I wouldn't know how to help other people through their trying times. And I will say, like, I will do anything to prevent somebody from feeling pain or feeling anything. If I have it, sometimes I'm almost, I think I'm too giving sometimes. Because I put myself in some difficult situations to try to help other people, but I wouldn't be so willing to do that if I didn't know what it'd feel like to be on the other end of things.
Let me say something. I want to go back to what she said about the woman who touched Jesus' robe. She believed. That's why he healed her. That's why she was healed. Literally, it's because she believed it 100%. And also, if we don't ever go through anything, we won't know how to help nobody. And we're not here to go to work and come home. I'm sorry, that's not it. Everyone has a purpose. So even if you're just at the store and you can help the person at the store, you have a purpose with helping people. So if we never go through nothing, how can we help the next person who's going through something? Just like people who've been molested. Joyce Myers talks about it all the time. She's been molested by her dad. Well, how could she ever help anybody who's been like that? If, you know, not saying that was good to happen, but she took her bad, negative thing that she went through, her trauma, and she turned it into, like, helping somebody. But you know, one thing I asked God to help me have joy through the pain. I don't want to live my life being sad and mad all the time, because I could. Because there's times where I get like, you know, I talk about unforgiveness, and I have to forgive every day, like, so I don't hold it in my heart. But I'm like, Lord, give me joy through, like, help me to see. Sometimes we have to change our perspective of our situation, because if we always look at it in a negative light, that's all it's ever going to be. But if we can change, you know what? Yes, it's not the best thing right now, but there's going to be a better outcome. Well, you know what? This is teaching me this, or this is teaching me that.
And I will say that as much as I've gone through stuff, he's came through 10 times harder with everything. Yeah. Like, I could speak on so many different situations, but I can even just go to one of the most recent ones where I was happy with my job. I was not looking for a job, but I was praying for a long time of, you know, I had a different situation where I had some issues with financial aid and going to school and stuff. And one thing after another, got denied, but I still, like, I found a way to, like, I downgraded my plan a little bit to go to get some education, and I finished a program. But I still just knew, like, this isn't the rest of my life. I won't be able to have the life I want making what I was making. So my plan was to stay where I was at until I finished school. Again, I was not looking for a job. I didn't apply for a job, and I don't have a bachelor's degree. This job literally came to me. Someone, you know, close to, well, the family friend of mine, her husband is in the same does the same stuff that I do, and he's like, well, she messaged me and said her friend was looking for somebody. Would I be interested? And I really thought it was too good to be true. Like, I'm not gonna get this job. Like, you need a bachelor's degree, and I don't have that. I have medical experience. That's about it. The first interview went great. I was surprised. I literally took the chance to go, but I can't even say I was confident that I was going to get it. And I went to a second interview, went good. Third interview, went good. Fourth interview, I got a job that requires a bachelor's degree. This job has changed my life financially. It's given me what I need to take care of my son. There's room to grow. Like, my opportunities are endless. And it just shows that as much as I kept trying to push back to do what I thought I wanted to do to make more money in life or to have life that I want, there's a reason why. Because it wasn't meant for me.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it never worked out.
Yeah.
As much as we think we want something, that's not always what's best for us or what's for us. And that happens. I'm telling you, there's so many situations in my life where, like, you would think that I'd be like, there's no way there's a God because all this stuff happens to me. No, if anything, I know there is, because I came out on top every single time. Every single time, like, he comes back 10 times harder for me. That's just one situation.
I hope that gives y'all hope, because it inspires me. Like, look on this, not just because we're on here, because there's a point in my life where I had a really good job. I get good jobs a lot, but I've had, like, everything I could want. And then, like, when I left that relationship, I had a car and clothes. That's it. And I live with my mom. And this is a part of, like, my purpose, I think, is, doing this. But I feel like I'm not where I want to be financially. I'm not where I want to be. Like, I still live with my mom. I'm still trying to, like, save up. I'm still trying to, like, grow and just be better. And I look at her situation like, you just got to keep going and trust in God, because he will make a way. You don't never know. I could wake up tomorrow with an opportunity. You just never know what God will do for your life. So hearing stories like that encourages me, because there's times where I'm like, I get sad because I feel like I'm just nothing. Literally, YouTube is like me speaking. This is a part of my purpose. I take it very serious, like it's a job. Like, I take it very serious. But at the same time, it's not bringing in money. So I be like, oh, you're not doing nothing with your life. You're not, like, I be feeling like that. I feel like I'm not, like, successful. Like, I feel like I'm not where I want to be in life. I feel like I'm being lazy. And I put most of my effort into doing this, and I'm like, 10 views. Jesus. I get more views on TikTok. And I know there's going to be an outcome, but there's times where I do get discouraged. And to hear somebody go through something, and to, like, see where God brings them, it encourages me, because I'm ready, Lord, to help me. So, it
will come. It's going to come. This is in January. I was on my way to work, and I wrecked into somebody. All that snow. How is it that I wrecked into somebody for some reason? I don't know why they pulled off, but they weren't hurt. I wasn't hurt. My car had, like, little to no damage, but I knew that with my job because I kept putting it off, that I needed a car that will go no matter what. Like, I had a newer car, but it was a car. It wasn't like an SUV. But that, obviously, I had no choice but to get a new car. Literally, the next day, I pulled off the lot with a new car. I was able to just take my car, and it was an even trade. And again, that's I feel like
God,
the angels on earth that he sent to help me with that. It's just there's that I can literally point out so many situations where these things that you wouldn't think are a blessing in disguise just so happen to be.
Wow. You know what? That isn't, like, sometimes, like, you look at your situation. Like I was just saying, if you change your perspective, you look at your situation, it looks like nothing's going good for you. But when you, like, keep doing what's right, there is an outcome. Like she was saying, how she puts herself in predicaments by helping people and kind of puts herself in a hole sometimes. But that doesn't go unnoticed. God sees that.
But also, don't do it expected to you.
Yeah, because you got to be careful who you do it for. Also, pray about who you're helping, because we're not supposed to help everybody. God will put it on your heart who to help. But I'll tell you a story. My sister was just telling me, like, a praise report earlier. She's always helping people, literally. She's always giving them rides. She's always being the first to help them. Even when she don't have it, she helps them. She looked in the mail today, and she got like $1,000-something check. Just out of nowhere. And I told her, I said, that's God, because when you're always helping, he sees it. He rewards, And but there are situations where, like, if you got to pay your rent and you don't, then to pay your rent. But just know that, like, if you're helping people, God sees it. Even when people try to trick you, if your heart's in the right place, God's looking at your heart. You know what I mean? He'll do with them, but God sees it. You know what I mean? So I just, like, I know that God, anyone that's out there What did someone say? When you want to get out of a situation, help somebody get out of theirs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I don't be having much to give all the time, but I'll go in my closet and I'll start giving back. But I got, you know, so I just.
But it's not always material stuff. That's
yeah,
what everyone looks at it like
other ways. Yeah.
Yeah, like even just a conversation. Like you don't know who's gonna see this video that feels what we're feeling, but never had the resources to hear this kind of stuff that you could have saved somebody's life just by us being open about what has hurt us.
Yeah.
Because it's not always easy, and it took a while for me to feel so comfortable with it. And I do believe that, like, I would like, you know, I wish I did things the right way, but I will say the way that I feel like God gave me my son because he knew he was taking my sister, because I wouldn't. He is what
he came right at the time.
And he's everything that I need and then some. Like, he's everything that I needed. And when she was sick, I'll be honest, I did feel angry because I do believe in him. Mm-hmm. So I felt angry. I was angry at him. Like, it took a lot for me to pray at that moment in time. Yeah. But when I did, I prayed over my baby. That little boy is everything I prayed for. I prayed for them curls. I prayed for his blonde hair.
I'll put a picture right here so you guys
I was blonde as a baby. I have two different colored eyes. I didn't really think it was going to pull through because his dad has all brown eyes and I only have like a little bit of green in one eye. And I prayed for his bright blue eyes. I prayed for his personality. To the T, everything that he is.
Wow.
God, I feel like it was God just showing me, like, I know that you're angry, but just know that, like,
I'm listening.
I'm still here. I'm still listening.
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you, and you have to trust me. It kind of like rechecked my faith.
Yeah, let you know I'm here. Like, that gave me chills. That's such a beautiful thing, because I listen to people's stories, and there are people who say that, like, God has given them exactly what they asked for. And that just gives me, like, a lot of hope. I hope that gives you guys hope, too. Because there are times where we pray and our prayers are off because you have to pray according to his will. We can pray as much as we want. But if it's not God's will, he's not always going to give it to you. But he tries to give you the desires of your heart, especially according to his will. And I think God does that a lot with kids. Even if people have a child out of wedlock, he still uses that kid to, like, bless people. Like, I've seen people who were wild and got pregnant, and it changed their whole life, you know? Or people that was on drugs and they had a baby and it just changed their whole life. So, like, God will take any situation that may look negative and he'll turn it into something good, but it doesn't mean it's not good, you know? Yes, he requires certain things, but God will always turn the situation around if you let him. And I just think it's beautiful, like, because he brings babies in. Like, my friend lost her grandmother and had her son right after that. And it helped her, you know, and her grandma was like her mom. So I just, like, know that he knows how to comfort, you know, and we just have to seek him. Like, even when you can't hear him, God will answer in many ways. Remember when you said the book was open to a certain page, and how everything that you read in that book was what you needed to hear?
This was actually just recent. So my room was a mess. I don't know if any of y'all have kids, but these toddlers don't care. And there was a book. It's like Blessing the Broken or something like that. Yeah. And usually when I'm cleaning up, I'm not going to... I'll just pick it up. Like, I'm not going to read or look. But there was bold letters on there. And it's like nothing about going unnoticed. And I read it. But as I picked up the book, it was weird because there was like something wedged in a different page. And I was on the phone with her. And I read it to her. It was everything that she needed. And I read what the pages opened up to me. It was everything that I needed. Like to the T. So it's like you pay attention, those signs and stuff are there for sure. He speaks to, like, what people don't realize about God is he speaks all day in different ways, though. But you have to pay attention. He speaks through animals. Like, not like animals talking. I'm just saying, like, I watch animals and I'll see, like, a revelation with God, how God works. Like, God provides for birds. He provides for animals, and they don't have to look for it. You know what I mean? Like, birds, he already provides for them. You don't have to go wondering where their food's going to come. That's why you have to just trust God. He's going to bless you. You know, that's what I'm saying, stuff like that. This is, like, on topic, maybe a little bit, sort of. I think it is. Not only was I blessed with my son, I have to say that, like, growing up, you can ask her. Everyone's a kid talking about they want to be doctors, teachers, all this. When growing up, I'm not going to be a wife and a mom. That's what I've always said. But I always felt that I couldn't give, because my mom's not too involved, and with my dad passing, I couldn't give my kid a family, really. And, you know, my sister passed, you know, My other sister isn't able to be the best aunt that she can be right now. And so it's just me and my brother, which he's enough. I don't want to say he's not. But I will say, like, my son's father's side of the family, they're wonderful. They make up for everything that I thought I couldn't give him. They have it all. That little boy is loved in every single direction. So it all literally just everything that I ever wanted is in him, and it's more than just him. It's what surrounds him. I wanted him surrounded by that.
Yep, God provides. Even I don't know if you guys ever have mother figure. Say for instance your mother's not there, God will provide a mother figure. It might not be your mom, but it's somebody that's like a mom. He always provides what you're lacking. And what I was trying to say earlier is that he's speaking in many ways. If you don't hear his voice, you see him through situations. God, you just have to pay attention. Sometimes we get mad at God because he's not moving how we want him to move, but we can't. He's God. He knows what's best. He knows way more than we do. Our thoughts are not his thoughts, but he's always speaking. So just pay attention. Take the time to slow down and just look at your situation. And when God blesses you, I think it's important to write down how he blessed you. Keep in mind, okay, I remember when my situation, I don't do it, but like I want to start writing down what my life was like and then how he changed it, or what he did to like help with a certain situation. Because God, he wants to be there for you, but the more you cry out to him, the more you'll see like, hey, he's like, hey, I'm here for you. Like I want to be here for you. He cares about what you care about. So like, just keep that in mind, because God, he wants to, he loves you and he wants to be there for you. He's your dad, he's your mom, he's everything. And
I will say that the support and help that I've had was never help I asked for either. When I was struggling trying to figure out my whole like school and work situation, I was at CalU and I had to leave because I had like a $3,000 balance I had to pay before the next semester. And be mindful, I went on a dependency over it because my mom was incarcerated and my dad's deceased. So I used to watch our kids. She has 4 kids. And she willingly put me on her phone plan and paid my phone bill for me my entire time I was in school.
So sweet. That's a blessing.
Shout out to Shayna.
Hey, people like that, that's a blessing. That's how I felt about my brother's baby's mom. She just took me in because I was like, listen, I can't live with my mom. She just was like, you can come. And,
she took both of us in.
Yeah, but before you came,
I was there. I'm just saying, like, she didn't have to do that.
Yeah, and but there's so many people that are such blessings along the way. And,
angels on earth.
Yep, exactly. That's why it's good that you don't know how, even if you just, like she said, it don't have to be money. You can just sit there and have a conversation or just listen to somebody. You don't know how that's helping. Like, you don't know how that's helping. And that's why, in my mind, I know how I want to bless people.
And if you listen to all this is revealing, how I was saying, how, like, the situations that how I've put myself out there to help people not feel how I felt. But clearly, that's probably, I can't speak for them, what my angels on earth have done for me and you, like, I don't, like, if she, obviously, like her doing that for, her paying my phone for me for how long, she didn't have to do that. She has 4 kids of her own. But obviously, like, stuff like that sticks with you, and you just continue to do it. These are God's work. This is God's work, God's blessings on earth.
Yeah.
And I don't know what made her. I don't know if we spoke her name.
Yeah.
But take both of us, and then we were young teenagers.
Yeah.
We wanted to take on 2 teenage girls, but she took us in. She fed us everything. Never asked us to pay her anything. Nothing.
Well, we was.
But still, she could have been like, no, like, somebody needs to, you need to do something the first day in here. Like, she not once asked for anything. So, but like, that's an angel on earth right there. So people doing stuff like that for us also can, I feel like it's all coming around if you really think about the way all this whole conversation has like revealed itself.
I know, because even when I was in college, my uncle paid for my phone bill the whole time. Like, the whole time I was in college, he paid for my phone bill. And I just, like, God has always blessed me. I could live like a somewhat regular life. Like, even though I had a lot of responsibility, he was still blessed. He would always send somebody to bless me. And so that's why I don't even know why I'd be stressed now. Because I'd be like, oh, God, please help me. I need money, God. Yeah. That's where that faith kicks in. But I'm not going to keep on rambling, y'all. I hope you guys got something from this interview/conversation, and I hope this blessed you guys. If it's on your heart, please share it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, first of all, I always tell y'all this: like the video because it helps with the algorithm. Secondly, share it because it's free. And subscribe. What's it hurting you? It can help you. You never know. Just watch a video. It might help you sometimes.
Don't be lazy. Work your finger.
Yeah. 1 second. And guys,
actually,
yeah, and comment, guys. We want to know, like, what have you been through? Have you been through anything? Like, give me feedback.
And also, I'm not her, but if anybody wants to ever talk about anything we talked about, or needs a support system, or can relate to anything and just feels like they need somebody who understands, I will do anything that I can to...
You want me to put your stuff in the description? Like a link of anything? So people can call it, like Instagram or Facebook? Or...
No, just message her. And then she'll put you in contact with me.
Okay, yeah. Yep, and so if you guys want to talk about stuff like that. And guys, at the end of my videos, I do put a prayer where you can give your life to Christ. So if that's what you want to do, you can do that. And you guys know I have another channel, so please make sure you go on that channel, which is in the description below, my reaction channel. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys. God bless you.
Pray for her.
Stay tuned.